So much devastation there. Let's bring in Storm Team 5 meteorologist Kellyanne Cicalese.
And Kellyanne, we just heard Rena Roy say this, the storm now moving to the Bahamas.
It is. And the one thing we're picking up here is that the wind is starting to pick up in terms of the speed of the storm. So right now we're seeing it moving at about 14 miles per hour. So that's quite a bit of an increase from some of the earlier winds and earlier speed of the storm, where it was about 3 to 5. So now as this moves over the Bahamas, we're not expecting those 20 to 40 inch rain totals. Instead, rainfall amounts up to about 10 inches expected as the storm passes over the island. Still a significant impact. Surge will be a concern here. And you can see the storm itself, the center is only about 90 miles south of the Bahamas right now. And so we're starting to see tropical storm force wind extending already toward the islands. We are expecting landfall by early this evening, and from there likely holding on to Category 2 strength before it makes its way toward Bermuda. Notice the latest update here that came in at 11 does indicate that this will likely still be a Category 2 hurricane as it passes just west of Bermuda, moving toward Thursday into Friday. Meanwhile, we have a lot of clouds out the door. It's a cool feel. We're sitting at 49 in Boston, and with these clouds, a few drops moving in. We have to really zoom in on our radar that's based out of Hopkinton to see some of these really light sprinkles that are covering areas like Scituate and moving inland toward 95 into places like Norwood and stretching down toward Mansfield. We have a few drops in the forecast overnight, but an alert day for tomorrow. The timeline for this ahead.
Continue to keep our eyes on Hurricane Melissa after the storm battered Jamaica. The storm is starting to weaken as it passes over Cuba right now, but the impact still continues.
We're seeing some of that devastation right now, and you can see all that water there, cars submerged. It doesn't look great.
And that's the thing to take away from this. When the storms weaken, that weakening is based on the wind strength and the pressure, but the amount of rainfall that the storm contains is still tremendous, and that's going to be a significant impact that we're watching for the Bahamas and eventually moving out toward Bermuda. So here's a look at Hurricane Melissa, and yes, it has weakened to a Cat 2 hurricane, but we are still on high alert here for the Bahamas. The eye, it did start to redevelop late last night, but now after passing over Cuba, you can see the eye has disappeared. So we are seeing some signs of weakening here with this system. It is also starting to move a little bit faster, and that's great news. So the speed of the storm is about 14 miles per hour. At one point, this storm was moving about 3 miles per hour. So this is a nice forward speed. That's going to help to kind of move these impacts through in a more speedy motion here for the islands of the Bahamas, but also even out toward Turks and Caicos. There's been a lot of focus on the Bahamas, but you can see how this wind field does expand out to Turks and Caicos. So we will likely see at least tropical storm force conditions moving out toward the islands there. Now we are watching for what's next, and that is Bermuda. We'll see that tropical storm force wind field moving in as early as Thursday evening, but getting into the hurricane conditions in the late night hours. Right now, the center of the storm is about 90 miles south of the Bahamas. So we're seeing that wind extending toward the Bahamas at this moment, but landfall is expected by early this evening. And you can see how it does race across as we move toward 8 o'clock tonight. The storm will start to reemerge over the water, likely still a Cat 2 hurricane as it passes just west of Bermuda, moving toward late Thursday night. A lot of moisture with this, and we are watching some of that tropical connection, possibly enhancing some of our rainfall here for Thursday night into Friday. While a general 1 to 2 inches is expected from much of the area, you can see that potential for closer to 3, perhaps even more over southeastern Massachusetts. And so that's our next threat on our radar: heavy rain and gusty wind. That wind likely lingering into the start of our weekend. Lots of clouds out there, but I want to take you to a bright spot. Right now in Worcester, we're seeing blue sky, quite a contrast to what we have in Boston and most of eastern Massachusetts. So you can see that the clouds are quite a bit thicker as you move into eastern Massachusetts this afternoon. And with that, we're tracking a few of these sprinkles moving in off the water, stretching from the coastline like Scituate and moving into inland spots along 95. So Norwood feeling a few drops right now, sitting at 49 degrees. We have a lot of 40s out the door, 50s down toward Cape Cod and the islands. But with these clouds locked in place, we really won't get much warmer than the 50-degree mark. Overnight, watch for a few spot showers as the clouds hold strong. We're falling into the 40s. An alert day for tomorrow, highs in the 50s, but of course the focus is on the rain. We could see a few drops moving into the late morning hours, but the storm itself moving in for the evening. And the start of the evening commute, 4 to 6 p.m., just a few light showers, but beyond that we start to get into some heavier rainfall, enhanced downpours, especially over southeastern Massachusetts after 9 o'clock through the overnight hours. By early in the morning, this is paused at 5 a.m. on Friday, and you can see we're drying out. So then the other aspect to the storm is the wind, and that does start to pick up by Thursday night, but I actually think the strongest wind will move in for Friday with wind gusts approaching 45 miles per hour. So this is going to be a wind maker and certainly some impacts on your trick-or-treating Friday night. A breezy start to our weekend, but the wind dies down Sunday. And Jessica and Antoinette, we do have sun in the forecast for this weekend as well.
Yeah. You know, again, folks want to know about trick-or-treating.
No, windy. The wind is going to be the big headline here for trick-or-treating. But hey, at least it's not raining, and so you can get out and about.
Well, there you go. The kids were going to get out and about anyway.
Yeah, that's
right.
True.
Thanks for joining us here at News.
We'll see you at 4.